Hi, folks. How are you all doing today? So, today let's understand and learn about how to use CSS and how to create a good looking form, right? We already have created a registration form in our previous sessions, right? I hope you might have remembered this, and you also have the template of this, right? If you do not have it, I will be giving you the link in the description box below. Okay, so you can actually go back to my channel Folks Hub and do watch my web development series. In that, we have a form which is created in a video, right? So go to that and just check that. Okay, so this is the form which we have created the other day, right? So that too only using HTML we have created it with the tags which you already know. So we just have built this one, right? Now we'll just update this along with the styling part, CSS. Okay. I think we started off CSS already, right? So if you have not watched my previous videos, please do go back and watch them, right? So let's see how to create a complete registration form. Okay. So a complete registration form, when I say this, like with having a very good style and all the elements in that, okay, we'll add few more elements necessary or possible in this one, okay, and then we'll do that, right? So let's start off with our today's video. And today there's a speciality in our today's video. This is our 75th video, and I'm so happy to announce this. Yeah, so yeah, let's get started. Okay, first thing, let's just remove the speed tag as we don't really need this in the registration form, I hope. Yeah. And to create any form in HTML, we actually have to like write the form tag. Okay. So only then it will just detect this to be a form tag. Okay. And then I'll just close the form tag over here. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So close the form tag. That means within the form tag, we are creating this form. Okay. Then you can actually like to give a border kind of this kind of a thing for the form. You can actually use field set tag. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just writing field set. Okay. And you have to put everything inside this field set tag. So that's why I'm just closing the tag here. Okay, field set, right? Now, so you can also give a legend basically, right? A legend tag for giving like a small title kind of a thing for this, maybe. Yeah. So let's write a legend tag and let's close the legend tag here only. Okay. So between these things, you have to start writing. Let's suppose, what shall we write as user registration form. Okay. And I'll just capitalize each thing. Or for this, we'll use the capitalized thing. Okay. So I'll just write everything in small letters for now. We'll write the style for it. Okay. So this is how the legend tag works like, right? You can see this border kind of a, so not on the border, you can see the title kind of a thing, right? So that's because of this. We can actually, after writing the legend tag, we can actually give a break tag so that you're getting a small gap there, right? And this is up to you. Even if you're not writing the break tag, we can actually give the paddings also. Okay. So this remains up to you. Okay. And then I'll just do something. I'll just give a tab for this. Yeah, just because so that our code is aligned properly, right? And this is not mandatory to be done, and but yeah, we can do it. Okay. So now when I actually click on this full name, nothing is happening, right? Because this box, this input box and this label tag are not really linked with each other. Okay. To link both of them, right? So we have a attribute called as for attribute. Okay. You can give the name or the ID. okay, whatever you want. You're like, in the input tag, if you write the id, and that id should be matching with this label tag basically. Okay, so if I say f name as the for, then in the input tag I have to write the id. Okay, and that id also will be the f name, right? So with this, what happens is, when I click on full name, you can see it is actually pointing to that input box here, right? So this is how the this form thing works like, right? So for and the id both should be same. Okay, only then they both will be linked to each other like this. Now when I say click on email id, it doesn't happen, right? Just because I have not mentioned this for attribute on the label here, right? So that's why it's not happening. Okay, so let's just mention the for attribute here, and let's write email id as the id. Okay, so let's give the id over here as email id. Okay, so now when I just click on email id, you can see that it is pointing to this box now. Okay, that means both are linked together, right? So and then for phone number, let's write a for attribute, let's say phone, and the id will be phone itself. Both have to be same, and you have to remember this thing, right? So next, for attribute for date, let's write DOB, date of birth, right? So and here let's write ID as same DOB. Okay. Then gender. So the gender will be, let's write it as gender itself. Okay. Then let's give the name also as gender. Okay. Here also I'm giving the name as gender. So with this, what happens is, let me tell you, with this I'm grouping all of these elements together, right? Only one element can be chosen at a time. See, now the male is not getting chosen, right? So if I click on others, female, if I click on female again, others is not getting chosen, like that. Okay, so you're just grouping all the elements here, right? So that's why I'm just writing the name as gender here. Okay, and when I click on gender, it's not pointing because we have not given the ids, but we can't really give the IDs same for all three input tags. So that's why I'm not just writing anything over here. I'll just ignore this thing, this part. Okay. Then we have input type checkbox and the name as agreement, right? And then I'm writing I agree to terms and conditions. Okay. And lastly, we are writing the submit button. Okay. So this is all for the registration form, right? But not only these things, if you want to give more and more elements into this, absolutely you can add, right? So just after date of birth, I would also like to take the address from the user. Okay, so then how would I do that is, now I'm just clicking on enter here, and then I'll write label tag here first. Okay, so label, close the label tag also, right? And then let's write the for attribute. So the for attribute is for address. So I'm just writing address. Okay. And then here also I will just write address. Okay. And after the label tag, let's just write the input tag. Okay. So first let's write type. Oh wait. So for address, I'm really not creating an input tag. Okay. So we want a bigger box, right? So let's create a text area tag. Okay. Text area is bigger than the input tag which we create usually. Okay. So that's why I'm just writing text area. And within the text area tag, you actually have to give rows and columns. Okay. How many rows it should have and how many columns it should have. So I'm just writing 3 rows for now, okay, and 20 columns for now, okay. If this feels like so big, so this is the box which is being created. If you feel like this is so big, you can absolutely change this thing, right? If you feel this is okay, if this is small, you can increase the number of columns to 30 also. That's up to you. Okay, this becomes bigger, that's it. You can also increase the size of this like this. Okay, So that's about the text area tag. It just creates a bigger box. That's it, right? And after the text area, just write two break tags for giving that gap, the same gap, whatever you had, right? And also on the text area, if you want to write a placeholder, you can absolutely write a placeholder. That means this is the hint given to your user, right? So let's say type your address here. Okay, so you can see the hint is given to the user now. Okay, so you can do the same thing for full name, email id and all also, right? But for the moment of time, I really don't find any need, so I'm not giving it here. We can just write, I just want to show you how to give placeholder, so that's why I'm giving it here. Okay, and what else can we try, right? So we have tried input type checkbox, we have tried radio, we have tried date, number, email, text, and we have not yet tried password, right? So let's give the password thing also. Okay. So after full name, I would just like to, or else after email, I would like to include this label called as so label, and close the label tag first. Okay, so then we'll write the for attribute here. For this is for password, so I will say pass one. Okay, so I hope this should work out. And then I will write password, right? And here also for address, we have not given any ID, right? So let's give an ID also. Right? So the ID will be address, because for we are creating this, right? When I click on address, it shows to this thing, right? That means it points out to that particular thing. So that's why we write for, correct? So that's why I'm giving this here. And then let's write the input tag quickly for the password box. Okay. And I will also write two break tags here to just give this thing. Okay. Now, first I'll write the ID. So the ID will be pass one. Before ID, I will just give space and I will also write type, because the type is the very important attribute, right? So I'm just writing password as the ID type. And if you want, you can also specify name here. Okay, the name can be pass or any other thing, no issues. Okay. So now when I click on password, you can see it is giving this. And when I just type something over here, it recognizes that thing as the password. That's the significance of type password. Okay. Type text will only take the input as the text, right? For email type, it will only take the input as the email, like it checks for that @ symbol. If you click on submit, it will check for the @ symbol, and it will give you a warning that if you have not given @ so this is not recognized as the email, just please enter the @ symbol. It will give that kind of a warning. Okay. Type number for the phone numbers, or you can also use the type as tel. Okay, for the phone numbers. For date, we can give type date. And for for the radio buttons, you can give the type as radio. So and for check boxes, you can give the type as checkbox. Okay. So I hope we created the complete form now, right? So we can also create a drop down. So let's just create a small drop down. Let's give country, right? Okay. So let's just include that after address. I think we can include that thing, right? So here, so let's write label tag first. For giving the drop down, we're just doing this thing. Okay. Sorry, it's label. Yeah. And let's give the for attribute first. For this is for country. So I'm just writing country. Okay. And we'll write the label also as country. Then let's write two break tags basically. Then above the break tags, we have to write the input tag. So I'm just writing input. So input tag, okay. For this, first let's write the type. Oh wait, for for country we just wanted the drop down, right? So for drop down, you actually have to write select the tag. Okay. So select, and just close the select thing. Okay. So now first in the select tag, I would just like to write ID. ID will be country. Okay. So you can see it is already creating this drop down, right? Within the select tags, you will have to start writing option tag. Okay. Option tag to give one option basically, right? So first option can be given using the first option tag, right? So let's say I will just give the first option as India. Okay. And no issues. You can give any country name, right? So let's paste it, and instead of India, let's just say USA. Okay. Then let's paste this, and then instead of USA, let's just write um, Sri Lanka. Okay. So then let's write Australia. Randomly, I'm just giving the options. Okay, don't worry. And we can give, so Pakistan. Okay, so I just got five options now, right? So when I just click on this, you can see all the five options are there, right? If I just click on India, it just chooses India. If I click on Australia, it chooses Australia, and so on like that. Okay, this is how you create a drop down. Basically, when I click on country, it is pointing to that drop down also because they both are connected now. Okay, so this is all about our form. I hope inside a form, most of the elements which have to be present we have covered, right? Now now let's style all these elements, right? For everything we gave IDs and all, so how to style the elements is, so let's click on CSS here. Already you have the body style, paragraph tag style, and the h1 tag style, right? So body, like p and h1 all are tags, right? So that's why these are called as element selectors. Okay, body, p and h1 all are tags, that's why they are called as element selectors. Okay, so not only element selectors, if you write a class name, then you can also get this class selector. Okay, and if you're writing like hashtag, right, then that will become the ID selector. Okay, so let's suppose now I'll just click on index.html, and first I'll see, let's style for, we'll style the complete thing however. And inside the form tag, I just forgot to mention here, you can actually give the action attribute also. Okay, so if you have any other HTML, right, so let's write the action attribute first, and let's say second.html. I'm just writing this. Okay. So now add HTML. New.html is there. Okay. So then instead of second, let's write new.html only. Okay. Now inside this new.html, I'll just copy this link tag from head. I'll just paste it here because we want to link the same style sheet with this, right? Inside the body tag, I'll say h1 tag, which says next page. Okay, on this next page you can actually do anything whatever you want, right? But for now we just want to, whenever it submits, right, whenever user clicks on submit button, then I would just redirect to this new.html. I would get redirected basically. Okay, so let's check it out. If I say I'm just writing some numbers here. Okay, I'll just choose some date here, and I'll just write some address here. India is chosen already. So let's agree and let's submit. So you can see it is showing this warning, right? Because I gave the email ID, but I did not write the at the rate symbol and then say something, right? So let's suppose I'll just say gmail.com. Okay, let's submit. Now, so it says new.html not found. Why? We have the new.html over here, right? But however, you, I hope you could understand that it will get redirected to that page. Basically it is trying to redirect to new.html. We understood this, right? So that is what happens when submit is clicked if you give the action attribute. Okay, it tries to find out this page and it tries to redirect to that page. Now we wrote new.html, but maybe it's not getting the path, or I will just say this and then let's try this. At mm, okay, let's write some password, let's write some number, let's choose a date, let's type some address, let's choose India, female, agree, submit. Okay, it's not able to find this new.html. But that's okay. However, you understood what exactly is the thing with this form. I mean, action attribute, right? That's what. Okay. Then coming back to the CSS now, let's see. The background color is given as white, right? So let's just give some, I'll just give cyan color. Okay, or you can actually actually place any background image also. Okay, or you can place any gradient background if you want, right? So you can absolutely do that. Okay, I am not doing that. I mean, I'm not getting any image for now, but yes, you can absolutely do that using background hyphen image and the URL attribute you have to use. Okay, but however, this is fine for me. Okay, and then color, you can see the complete color is in black, right? If you want to change that text color, you can absolutely just say color. Okay, and then you can choose from the colors here. I'll just write blue and then I'll just say this. Okay, so for the complete body it should apply this blue color. Yes, okay, it is applying that thing now. Now to style your inputs basically, okay, you can use the input tag itself, that selector itself, right? So for all the inputs, it will actually give the same style, okay? So let's start giving the style for our input, right? So let's say padding first. Padding means the space around your I mean, within the container, it will be adding the space. Okay. So let's suppose if I say 10 pixels, so it just gives 10 pixel gap in the complete box. Okay. But you can see the boxes are becoming so big, right? This is not really looking so good, right? So I just want to remove this top padding and bottom padding. Okay. So then you can just say padding hyphen left and padding hyphen right. Okay. That is also fine. Like if I say padding hyphen right 10 pixels, only on the right it will be giving the space. Okay. And if you just copy this, paste it, and just write left here, this is also fine. Okay, so padding a hyphen left 10 pixels, and padding bottom and padding top you can definitely like write it separately, right? Padding top I will just give 5 pixels only. Okay, not very much gap, right? So and then padding bottom will also be 5 pixels only, so that it looks good. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is fine, right? So this is okay. Now, not only giving padding, you can actually give the background color also. Okay, background hyphen color. So you can choose any color like aquamarine. Okay, I'm just choosing the same shade. That's it. Okay, similar kind of a shade basically, right? And then you can change the color also. Okay, so let's change the color to blue color, right? So if I click on it and if I start typing, refresh, and then you can see it is coming in the blue color now. Okay, so that's how it is. And then if you want, you can also change this font family. Okay, font family, you have cursive, fantasy, inherit, monospace, and sans serif and serif, right? So I would say cursive for this. It looks like the handwriting kind of, so that's why I like this. And you can also say font style. Yeah, here. Font style, you can say italic, normal, or oblique. Okay. So I would say italic. Okay. And font weight. Okay. Font hyphen weight. You can give any number from 100 to 900, or bold, bolder, lighter, normal. All these can be given. Okay. I would say 700. Like it will be like a nominal value. I'll refresh and then I'll write I'll write it. See, a nominal kind of a bold is given, right? So not very much bold or not very light also. Okay. Then what next can be done is, so we wrote all the font properties here. So you can also give the text alignment if you want, right? If you want the complete thing to be in the center, like I think I'll just write it here, text align center. Okay. See, the complete form elements are trying to be in center now. Okay. This is how you can do it. And then you can also, for the legend tag, okay, for the legend tag, I would like to use capitalized thing. I want to change this to capitalize. So I'm just writing text hyphen transform. Text transform, I have capitalized, right? What does this capitalize do is it will just capitalize the first letters, right? Let's refresh. See, U, R, F. Those are capitalized. Okay. So first letter of every word is being capitalized using text transform capitalize, right? And then what next can we do? And what next? Let's okay, let's change the font size also. Okay. I just want to change it for the complete page. Okay, that's why I'm writing it in the body tag, right? So if you only specifically want a change in a particular tag, then you can style it in the same particular tags thing, right? In the element selector. Or you can use specific IDs also for for creating this thing, right? So font size, let's suppose I will be writing 20 pixels. Yeah, this looks good now, right? Like a little bigger thing. Yes. And inside the input tag also we can change the font size to just 18 pixels. I think 18 pixels should work out. Now you can see even the submit button thing and all the other elements are also increasing in their size. Yeah, this is good, right? So you can do this. And then what next can be done on this? Yeah, you can also give the border radius, right? First thing, let's just say border none. Okay, I don't want to give any border. So I'll just say none. Okay. And then let's write the border radius. Yes. I'll just say 4 pixel border radius. Okay. You can see now there is no border, and you can also see that at the corners, right, at the edges, you have a very small curve, right? That's because of the border radius. Okay, even if you're not giving the border, you can absolutely give the radius, right? And then this looks more professional now, right? I hope. Let's change this aquamarine to some other color. I think white is good, right? So let's just write white only. Okay. Yeah, this looks better. And for this text area tag also, we can actually change the border thing, right? So I'll just say text area. Okay. And then let's just do the same thing, same style basically. Yeah. Yeah, this is good now. Okay. And then for this select thing, right? For the op select tag itself. So for the select tag, I'm writing now. Okay. Yeah. On the select tag, what can be done? First thing, I'll just increase the width of this. Okay. To change the width, you just have to say width, and then you can write some number of pixels or some percentage, right? I think I'll just give 20%. That would suit mostly. So 20% also you can just say. Okay. Refresh. So among the complete screen width, it is only covering 20% now. Okay. And then we can actually change the font size for this also. I'll just give the complete thing. Yeah. Or let's do something. If you want to give the same style, right? Whatever is given for the input tag, you can actually write the select thing beside the input also. Okay. We can remove this complete thing and just this is like the group selector. Okay. So I'm just writing both of the tags here only. Whatever is applied on this will be applied on this one also. Okay. Now you can see it is absolutely applying the thing, right? So this is how you can do it. Okay. And we did not mention or specify any width for this thing, right? So we can also mention the width property on this, right? So with maybe 50% of the screen I want to occupy every time. So you can just say 50% of the screen, right? Always that will be occupied. Okay. And for text area also, if you just want to mention the same thing, like it should not go beyond the 50%, yes, you can absolutely do that. Okay. Now you can see almost every element has the same kind of a style, right? Okay, these things are changing just because we give width for input tag, right? I think we can specifically mention this thing, okay? Not for the complete input tags if we write. Yeah, because these are changing their things. So how can you mention now without changing these things, right? For that, you have another idea like input. First, you have to mention the type here, okay? For which types you want to apply this thing, right? So for text type, for email type, for password type, for number type, right? So let's write text. You can copy this thing. You can say this and just write type equal to number. For number type also we want to apply this. Then for email type also we want to apply this, right? And then you can say for password type also we want to apply this, right? And if am I leaving out on something? For date type also we want to apply the same thing, right? So you can just say date, and then you can write with the property now. Okay, so with will be 50%, or let's suppose 60% of the screen should be occupied. Okay, now let's refresh. See, now 60% only they are occupying the 60% width of the screen. Okay, so for all these types we have mentioned that style. Specifically if I have to show you, then what exactly can we do? I i gave almost everything over here, right? So what shall we do? Okay, let's give box shadow so that you can absolutely see the difference, right? So for box shadow, what do we have to do is we first have to say how many pixels it has to move towards the shadow should be moving towards right side. Okay. Then how many pixels it has to move downwards, and then how many pixels spread you have to do. That is the third value. Lastly, you will write the color. You can see it is applying the thing for only these things, but for these things you cannot really see that style, right? Because we have only specified these things here, so for those only you're getting the shadows. Okay, the shadow effect. And for address also you're not getting, for country also, and not for even these things, right? So let's suppose I'll just give the box shadow for text area also. See, for text area also you can see the shadow effect, right? And for select a tag, if you want to give, you can absolutely write it here. Okay, so you can just put a comma and then write select. That is all you have to do for this thing. Okay, so now you can see for all the elements you have those shadows being applied, right? And yeah, I hope this is all. This is all we can do for styling these elements. Okay, we can do more and more style, right? Let's suppose, like if I just go to index.html And if I say after the h1 tag, if I write the div tag, I mean, that means I'm creating a division basically, right? So for this division, I will be giving the class, okay? Class as container, right? So if I give the class as container, yes. So let's just close this division after the form tag, right? So I'm writing div here, okay? So let's just remove all of this gap as we really don't need the gap here. Yeah, this is all. Okay. So now we gave the class as container, right? So let's style this container class. To style your container class, you just have to say class selector, right? So dot for a class selector, you have to give dot and then write container and then start styling it. Okay. So let's suppose I want to say background color for this. So let's just give background color. I'm just writing gray color. Gainsboro is also fine, no issues. Yeah, you can see now it's actually giving for the division. Okay, for the complete division, it is giving that. Okay, and then box shadow you can just give. Sorry, yeah, box shadow I'm giving. Yeah, you can see that shadow effect there. Okay, maybe a very little, but if you try this, you'll see this. Okay, and then border radius. I wanna specify border radius also. So I'm just giving the border radius. You can see the curvy edges now, right? So this is how you can do it, right? So you can actually give the transparency also. Let's suppose I will not write Gainsboro. Instead, I will write RGBA. Okay. And then I will say 128, comma 128, comma 128, comma 0.5. Okay, 128 I'm giving because that is this light gray color. Okay, and 0.5 is like the half of the transparency thing, right? So it's not the full color basically, it's not the opaque color, but it is transparent now. All right, so let's change this cyan to white. Now you can see this, it's transparent enough now. Okay, and then what else can be done? For registration form, if you want to give a underline kind of a thing, right? So text decoration has to be written for the underline. Okay, so you can say underline. See, there's an underline under your registration form. Okay, so we discussed about text decoration also, right? So these many things are there, and there are more things, right? So, but yeah, for today, I think this is enough. Yeah, in this 75th session, we actually have learned so many things, right? So, for avoiding any confusion, I would just like to summarize everything, right? So first thing we understood about the division tag, right? How to write a class and all. Okay. Then form tag with the action attribute and what does this action attribute do, right? What does this field set tag do? We understood this thing, right? So what if I just remove this field set? You're only seeing the legend here and you're not seeing that border basically. That's it, right? I think this is also fine. Yeah, based on our style, this is okay. Okay, and instead, inside this container, I'll just give some padding spaces, right? So once I'll just write padding, and if I say 10 pixels or 20 pixels, that's fine. See, on top, left, right, and bottom, you're getting the gap. Instead of 10, you can also say 20 pixels. That is also fine. Okay. So yeah, this is good now. We can just decrease this and you can see here based on the window size, this will be changing itself. Okay. So if you want the width to be 100%, you can also absolutely do that, right? So you just have to break these things and you can make them go into the next line. So you can also do that with the break tags and all. Yes. So that, and then Next, we have learnt about these types and the for attribute, basically how to connect both of them and all. Yeah. And then we have understood about this select tag with the options thing for giving the drop down. And then in HTML, I think that's all, right? So you understood about the password type today, how to give IDs and all. To style any ID, let's suppose for password itself, ID I give pass1, right? So for styling pass1, what I can say, just hashtag and then pass1, and then I can start writing this thing, right? So let's just what exactly can we do on this? As shall I just change the background color for you guys so that you can actually see the difference? That's it, right? I will change it to Alice blue. Okay. You can see it is changing a little bit. The color is changing a little bit, right? Only for this particular thing I am doing it. Okay. If you just use the ID and if you're styling it, only for a particular element you are styling it. Okay. Not for the entire same thing, right? So this is how you can use the ID selector, right? We have discussed about ID selector, class selector, right? And also the element selector, group selectors. This is group selector. This is element selector. Only one thing we are styling here, right? So all these things, okay? And so many attributes like background, color, text align, font size, font weight, text decoration, padding right, padding left, top, bottom, mark, and then font family, font style, font weight and font size, border, border radius, right? Box shadow, okay? Then yeah, all these things we have learned, and we have more and more things to be understood, right? We will be discussing about them slowly, but I hope in this 75th video you got a very cool information, right? So this is absolutely good and productive session today, right? We completely had a very good session conducted today, right? If you have any questions, you can absolutely ask me, right? And you can get back to me anytime. And you can actually, if you have any concerns, you can absolutely comment in the comment section below. Okay. Do let me know about your concerns, right? And yes, this was all about our today's session, and we created a cool form today, right? I hope you all got this and you understood everything, whatever I was trying to tell you, right? So yes, for today, this was all, right? And in the next session, we'll see what exactly can we do and what more can be done. Okay. So thank you so much for watching this video, and also for your continuous support, right? So this is my 75th video. I'm so proud of this and I'm so happy about it. Okay. I would like to see you all guys in our next session. Okay. And yes, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, Folks Hub. Meet you all in the next session. Bye bye, guys, and have a great day, all.